Let's start. Lesson 1 করব. It all began with Drip Drip. Written by Alka Shankar and Sharlin Mukundan. Let's read. A tiger was caught in a storm. He had wandered near the village, looking for something to eat. On the outskirts of that village lived an ill-tempered old woman. The tiger huddled in shelter close to the wall of the woman's hut. The old woman was feeling very ill-tempered that night. The rainwater was leaking through the roof. There is no escape from this drip drip, she muttered angrily, pushing her bed around the room to keep it dry. She shoved the bed and a tin trunk against a wall. The wall shook. This drip drip will be the death of me, she shouted. The tiger on the opposite side of the wall felt the wall shake and was frightened. The drip drip must be a very dreadful creature, he thought. Meanwhile, Bholenath the potter was out in the night looking for his donkey in the storm. Suddenly he saw an animal huddled in the dark against the wall of the women's hut. Let's continue. There is my donkey, Bholenath shouted, and running to the tiger, grabbed it. He pulled the tiger's ears. Move, you lazy donkey, or I will give you a hard time. The tiger was really frightened. This must be the terrible drip drip, he thought. Bholenath dragged the tiger home and kept him tied by a sturdy rope to a tree near his hut. In the morning, Bholenath's wife discovered the tiger tied to the tree and screamed in fear. Hearing her, the neighbors came running out of their huts. Bholenath was sleeping. He came out too. The people are all mystified. Who tied this tiger to the tree? They asked. A neighbor said, I think Bholenath can tell us. I saw him last night dragging an animal through the storm. Bholenath was too frightened to admit his mistake. Everyone looked questioningly at Bholenath. In the meantime, the tiger, disturbed and confused by all the people, had chewed through the rope. It ran away to the jungle. The villagers were relieved. Bholenath now saw an opportunity to brag. It is I who captured the tiger last night. I even pulled its ears. Bholenath announced proudly. Everyone marveled at his bravery. Soon the news of Bholenath's bravery reached the king. The king was highly impressed. He made Bholenath the commander-in-chief of the king's army. Bholenath and his wife were given a huge house to live in. Let's continue. A few months after that evening, news came that a neighboring king has declared war. Bholenath and his king gathered at the royal court. The king told Bholenath, You are the commander-in-chief of my army. I entrust you with the duty of protecting my state. Bholenath came back home in utter despair. I don't even know how to ride a horse, he told his wife helplessly. How will I defend our borders against 8,000 enemy soldiers? Don't worry, his wife said. I will tie you to the horse. In the morning, the king sent Bholenath a magnificent stallion. Bholenath got up gloomily on the horse and his wife securely tied him to it with a rope. The horse did not like the feel of the tight ropes. It reared suddenly and galloped off wildly. Bholenath hung desperately to its mane. Realizing that the horse was headed straight for the enemy camp, Bholenath shouted in fear. The horse could not be stopped. Bholenath noticed a large tree with its branches hanging over the road. As the horse galloped under the tree, Bholenath reached up to grasp the branches and pull himself free. But the branches broke away in his hands. The horse had entered the enemy camp. The enemy soldiers were astonished to see a wild-looking man tied to a fierce stallion, waving branches excitedly. "Help! Help!" Bholenath was shouting. The enemy soldiers did not hear him. They were greatly scared. This must be some great warrior come single-handedly to defeat us. The soldiers were overcome with fear and instantly ran away without putting up a fight. Soon the news of Bholenath's great victory spread. Everyone was amazed that he had defended his state all by himself against 8,000 enemy soldiers. The king awarded him in a public ceremony. Bholenath became a legend. It all had started with a drip, drip.